Hello everyone, my name is Duffy. I wanted to talk a little bit with a thrift store find that I had today. I really don't do these videos for thrift store finds, especially when it comes to like CDs or cassettes. Cassettes are a little bit weird for our thrift stores around here. Sometimes we get some good ones, most of the time it's crap. CDs you can get galore. So they're very easy to find. Sometimes you'll find good vinyl. Depends what you're looking for. So it's a hit and miss. You know, I might find one or two that's pretty good that I can resell or I can keep for myself. My wife and I run a indoor flea market booth. For here in Colorado, this flea market is called the Fort Collins Flea Market. It's at 6200 South College here in Fort Collins. Unlike other flea markets you might have across the U.S. or even in other parts of the world, Colorado's weather is kind of weird. Yes, we have a lot of sunny days, but it could turn to rain really quick. Of course, we have the cold months during our winter months. So we have a lot of indoor flea markets, or as some people call them, antique malls. We do have, not necessarily up here in Fort Collins, but in Denver, Colorado Springs, you will find some outdoor flea markets where it's for the weekend and people set up their little tables and they'll sell stuff kind of like a garage sale. But for us up here, we have 3 or 4, 5, well, we have quite a few here in Fort Collins, about 5 of them here in Fort Collins. There's more further south down in Longmont and Boulder and Lafayette, Denver. There's quite a few of these indoor flea markets or antique malls, as some people call them. So my wife and I own one of these, and if you're ever in the area in Fort Collins, this is kind of what it looks like. It's not too bad of a size. We offer different items. Of course, my interest is the music, so we sell CDs, cassettes, little 45s, and LP records. But you know, books and little knickknacks, turn of the century, mid-century, whatever we think we might sell when we go to these estate sales and garage sales and online auctions, we'll try to put it in our booth to sell. If it's something that's kind of special that may not have a market here in Fort Collins, we'll put it on eBay or Etsy, as the case may be. So back to the thrift stores. Our thrift stores, we got a couple chain ones. Arc and Goodwill is in the area. We have Arc and Goodwill here in Fort Collins. There's a couple others as well, and they also have those in Loveland, which is just south of us, and over in Greeley, which is just to the east of us. That's a good source to finding if you're looking for CDs and cassettes. Really good source, especially when they have their half off sales, especially at the Arcs on Saturdays. So lots there. As far as finding vinyl, it's a hit and miss. Today was a fucking hit. Sorry. It was a hit, but I'm going to start off with the cassettes. I'm going to show you the cassettes I found. Kind of cool, and some of the CDs as well. I got them sitting right here. So we have The Cure galore. And these things usually, depending on what Arc is usually the one that carries the cassettes. I don't really find them much at the Goodwill, unfortunately, because I'm sure they get a lot. Cassettes usually go for between 69 cents to 99 cents. The one in Loveland charges a little bit more than everybody else on everything. So if you're in resale, you got to be careful of that. For me, I sell cassettes around $2 unless it's a really special one. Let's say Metallica Kill 'Em All. I'm not going to sell it for $2. I'm going to definitely sell it for more like $6. People still pay for it. I'm not trying to rip them off, but that's what it's worth of. The next cassette was the Indigo Girls, Come On Now. And then last but not least, I thought this is kind of cute. This is The Wedding Singer Volume 2. And it has Too Shy, some of the Cars, Spandau Ballet, Flock of Seagulls, you know, all that 80s stuff from the movie. So that was kind of cool. And as far as CDs, now this Loveland Arc charges a lot more. I usually like selling CDs unless it's a special CD. I usually like selling them for about $3 a piece. And that's for your average on the go. If it's something special, we're talking some jazz stuff, Pink Floyd, you know, something that's a little bit more popular. Again, I don't try to rip people off. I use Discogs for all this. But some of the stuff I picked up today, I can get about $4 off of this. I paid $3 for it, but it's Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. I already have this, so I'm not keeping it. Miles Davis, Love Songs, another good one. John Coltrane, my favorite things. I like jazz, amongst other things, but this will probably be sold. Miles again, Sketches of Spain. And then sometimes you'll find some good Miles Davis. I found quite a few at the Goodwills and Arcs and whatnot. Sorry, I'm kind of hot in here right now. But it's kind of cool every once in a while to find Tom Waits. And of course, this is Hardest Saturday Night. It's a good CD. I've already got it, so this will go out to our booth to sell. If it's something really, really special, again, it might go on eBay, but these things will do fine over at our booth. Put those over there. So now, let me grab my records and we'll get into it. So at this thrift store in Loveland, sometimes it's hits, sometimes it's misses. The cool thing is all these records that I'm going to show you today, and I think there's about 22 of them, were $2 a piece, $1.99 before taxes. So as you can see here, we've got the Hooters One Way Home, and that's got just a regular inner sleeve. So I don't remember when this was released. I do remember the Hooters. This doesn't have And We Dance, so this is probably their follow-up, at least one of their follow-ups. And then I also found another Hooters, one I've never actually heard of, Amore. Ooh, this one's got All You Zombies. So again, I don't remember the date, time frame. That was from '83. This one's '83. That one's '87 for the Hooters. And then, if you listen to the news, picture this, and its most popular song was Working for a Living, but I'm sure there's some others on there. Whoever gave this up, I don't get it. I mean, these are really great condition. This is not just scratch and scuff. They put a really nice, on this particular one, not all of them are this way, but they put a really nice cover, inner sleeve on it. And then, I mean, they're very well taken care of. It's, again, you don't find that very often in thrift store finds, but this one we did. And in fact, I was talking with the guy that was there. He was looking for stuff, and he said, "Here, they've got this, and they've got this." And of course, I found some on my own, just picking through, because I saw he was picking out some stuff. Like, oh shit, maybe I should start looking through. We got some Hagar, Schoen, Aronson, and Shreve Hassas, Through the Fire. I've heard of the band, but I've not really listened to it, so this might end up being a keeper. Again, nice inner sleeve, but it's not the look at that young face of Sammy Hagar. It's funny. So that might be a keeper. I'm gonna have to listen to it. I don't know that one very well. 38 Special, really nice cover. Of course, it comes out like that. I'm not gonna really pull all of them out. Bob Seger, Night Moves. They'll go for pretty well too. We got Paul Rogers and Company with Free, and I don't know many of the songs on this one, but that's alright. This probably be sold anyway. People like that old rock and roll stuff. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Trilogy. I'm not sure. Yep, someone really cared for that. They put that in the nice inner sleeve, the original master sleeves, which I'm not sure where to get. Fair Warning, Van Halen. I picked this up, and this guy left the inner sleeve, but he also put it in that. I'm going to have to see if I've got this one already. I don't remember. I have over 600 records, so sometimes I know I've got a lot of Van Halen. I just don't remember if I have Fair Warning or not. I have to check. And I'm not sure what the resale values on these are as of yet. I've got to go through Discogs. That's what I use to do most of my pricing. I try to find a fair price and go from there. So I got Night Ranger. Actually, I got 2 copies of 7 Wishes, so I might keep one and sell one. And then Dawn Patrol by Night Wishes. So I have to check those out. And then we got the Eurythmics. This is a good one. Would I Lie to You? And sisters are doing it for themselves. It's a pretty good release. I'm kind of a Eurythmics fan, but I've got a couple of for sale as well, so I might go out into my bin at the flea market. Oops. And then we have Asia. Everybody's got to have an Asia. I've got an Asia already. I've already got this, so that'll probably be for sale. Stevie Nicks. Rock a Little. Stevie's always cool, but you know, I can't beat that. Dizzy. This one is definitely a keeper. I am a jazz fan, amongst other things, and even though this is probably just a third or fourth generation, you know, from the tapes, not the original stuff, I'll at least take a listen to it, but I'll probably end up keeping it. I don't know. I was just reading up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it says stereo. Electronically re-recorded to simulate stereo. So what that means is that they take the tapes that they have, and it was recorded in mono, probably off a live stage or from older recordings, and what they do is they put it in through a delay. So you have the left side, let's say, would be the original sound, and there's a very only milliseconds worth of delay that's thrown onto the right side, so it sounds like stereo. And actually I've listened to recordings like that, and while it does sound like stereo, because stereo was a big thing when these things were made, pressed, it just doesn't sound as good as a stereo recording when you have you know, either recording live to 2-track stereo, or you're in the studio and you know, within the mix create the stereo. So we'll see. I've never really cared for the electronic pre-recorded, you know, to simulate stereo. I've got another one that sounds like that was a Glenn Miller. Sounds like crap to me, and I don't care for it. So then we have Kansas. Point of No Return. It's a famous album. I don't know how well this is going to sell. You find a lot of these anyway. I didn't even get to pull out the record, but the record looks really good too, so very well taken care of. Whoever was selling it last time, it's got a code here, D-A-N, Dan. It's got a $1.50 on it, so he couldn't sell it either. At the flea market that my wife and I are at, there is a guy that has a booth name. We all have code names. Ours is CHP. There is a guy that has Dan, and he does sell a lot of vinyl as well. And that one was a surprise find. Just digging through, I think the guy that was going through them before didn't realize who they were. Between the Buried and Me, this is Alaska. So this is really cool. This is clear vinyl, dual 2-record set, really nice condition. They are a progressive metal band. If you like progressive metal, they do a lot of touring. They got quite a few CDs and vinyl out. So I think even brand new, this is at least $25-30. I'll listen to it, see if I want to keep it or not, and if not, then it'll go out for sale. It might even go onto eBay. And then hair metal time. So I found a Rat, Dancing Undercover. I have no idea what's on this record. I don't remember Rat that well. I remember Round and Round from Out of the Cellar, but that was about it. But that's a nice find. And then these will probably be kept by me. These last 3. So we got Dokken, Tooth and Nail, which was their first release. And if it wasn't the first release, it was the first release I got of theirs. It was Tooth and Nail. So that's kind of cool. Breaking the Chains, I don't remember this particular release, so I'm going to have to listen to it, see if it's even worth keeping. It might be. That's the thing about the hair metal. Some lived, some didn't do it. And then Dokken under Lock and Key. So, sorry. I should be showing you, I'm looking at here. You're looking at a blank chair here, and I'm looking at it, so. Very cool finds. It's very surprising. And had a nice conversation with someone there. The guy he says he sells on Discogs, does pretty well. He was asking me about a booth as well. So definitely on occasion you find some really cool stuff. So definitely hit your thrift stores. You will find some treasures here and there, especially if you're either collecting or if you're wanting to do resell like I do. I do a little bit of both. I resell and I do collect. So. Like I said, some of these little treasures. That about wraps it up for this video. That's all the records I found today. But you know, your thrift stores are a really good source for, as I mentioned, if you're a collector or if you're even into resells. I was at a thrift store in Greeley, just east of us, and it looked like they ended up with a bunch of 45s, you know, 80s, early 90s 45s. It seemed to come from a radio station, so I had some R&B and some pop stuff, and I grabbed probably a good 20 of those, just so I can resell. Kept a couple as well. But definitely start keeping an eye out with what they're selling, especially if they have sales. Good time to really stock up on stuff. And then, like I said, if you do resell, or even for your collection, it's a great place to go. And you're not spending as much as you would on eBay or Discogs or Etsy or anything else. So that's it for this particular video. I hope you had some enjoyment out of it, had a little fun, as I did finding these records, and perhaps I'll make another one. Take care. Have a good one, guys. Thanks.